Good morning. Would you please stand and join me as we sing, This is the Day. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made, that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day, this is the day the Lord has made. Good morning.
Good. I was looking through the family albums this morning. Thank you. Welcome. Glad you're here. Would be strange if you weren't, so I look forward to seeing you every week. I was looking through the family albums and I thought, my mom, as she got older, my dad was a musician, so he was always on the stage and dressed nicely, and everybody thought that was really, he was a nice looking man. My mom was beautiful, but she sat in a little chair with the kids and all the other ladies at a table and quietly admired it. But as she got older, she became the star, and my dad took a side street. He was off the stage now. And so every one of those albums, I looked at the holidays, and she had on a glittering type of blouse or something. And then I looked at myself in the mirror, and I thought, oh my God, I'm becoming my mother. This is not good. This is not good. The early influences of childhood. Paul was kind enough to bring me this from Assisi, so I can't let go of it. I was a Franciscan monk, and for years I loved the idea of going to Assisi one day, so you went for me. Thank you. Thank you. It's a long trip, so I'm glad you got to go and not me. We really welcome you to the place where creative and unusual is welcome. The Fillmores, who were the co-founders, were creative and were unusual. They were not the norm in the Christian community of the time. They were considered a little bit outlaw. And they were among a group of other people that were called the New Thought group. So they were grouped together with people who began to look at the Bible differently and the words of Jesus, the directions differently that he gave. And they came back to a simple statement of what Jesus taught. Love God above all things, with all your heart and your soul. And love your neighbor as you love yourself. And like we said, Jesus went on even further and said, as he began to mess with us, he said, and I tell you even more, love your enemy. So if there is anybody in your heart today you feel that is not someone that you'd like to spend a long time with, and you've been avoiding or spending a little time in your mind, not thinking positive thoughts about them, today, I want you to bless them and love them. Love means to embrace, to see the good in them. In spite of all the other stuff, we see the good in them. Tibetan Buddhists call that the jewel or the beautiful flower that's within. They say, Mani Padme Hum. I behold the jewel in the center of the lotus. So I behold that jewel in all of you. And I'd like to invite you to join me in just turning to that presence within. Let's go within for a moment and allow that presence of God that is everywhere here in us begin to flow into every cell, organ, and system of our being, radiating from us out as divine love and joy. Joy. Every week you're greeted with several greeters, and one is usually Joylene. What a perfect name for a greeter. joy. Today, we go forth with joy in our hearts and we give it to the world because we are one with the presence of God. Amen. I invite you to look for that joy and that heart, that Spirit of God that's in every one of you that's here in this center. And if there's someone here who's for the first time, reach out and greet them. Let them know they're always welcome. Greet one another with a holy greeting. Good morning. Welcome to Unity.
I honor the love in you. I see light shining through. When I say namaste to you, my friend, I honor the love in you. Namaste, namaste. Namaste, namaste. When I say namaste to you, my friend, I honor the love in you. I honor the light in you. I see light shining through. When I say namaste to you, my friend, I honor the Christ in you. Namaste, 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 namaste. When I say namaste to you, my friend, I honor the love in you. I see, I honor the Christ in you. I see Christ shining through. When I say namaste to you, my friend, I honor the Christ in you. Namaste, 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 namaste. When I say namaste to you, my friend, I honor the Christ in you.
Good morning. So it's plainly obvious we need a bigger gong. Welcome, everybody. Welcome this beautiful Sunday. We're so glad you joined us inside when the sun is shining outside, and you could be doing a lot of other things, but this is where you're meant to be. And this is a particularly special service this morning, as you'll find out. And we'd like to start with some introductions. My name's Paul Whitney. I'm your service assistant this morning. And you've already heard from Reverend Micah, who's filling in as our senior minister. Thank you, Reverend Micah. And George Haver is providing music once again. Kind of a steadfast part of our music community here. We appreciate that, George. And one of the things we do each and every week is we like to kick off our service by inviting a young person forward to come light the Christ candle. And this Sunday, it's Tyler who's coming forth with boundless energy and blinding Christ light. Isn't that true, Tyler? Got this beautiful dress on. You want to have everybody take a look at you first before we go back? Ooh, nice. Let's wave. Say, hey! Welcome, Tyler. Come on back. And Tyler, we have you light this Christ candle to remind each and every person present today that we all have a divine light inside of us. And it shines so brightly, but sometimes we put it under a bushel. And we were specifically instructed not to put our light under a bushel. That one too, sure. This one's going to shine bright enough for all three, right? And your light is going to shine bright enough for all of us in this room. And so we're going to give Tyler her own special blessing this morning. So if you join me, the words are on the board. Tyler, you are a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. You are loved unconditionally, just the way you are. And we want you to say that to yourself like you believe it, and we want you to say it to yourself like you believe it. So let's repeat those words. I am a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. I am loved unconditionally, just the way I am. Now, I saw you sitting with some other young people. You want to invite them up too? All right. You guys want to come up? Of course I want to come up. Owen and Ewan. Aiden. I'm perfect in my imperfections, aren't I? Okay, so let's sing to our young people as they go off to their Sunday class. Together.
I'm a beautiful child of God, a wondrous spirit of love and peace. My light will shine forever. I'm a beautiful child of God. You're a beautiful child of God, a wondrous spirit of love and peace. Your light will shine forever. You're a beautiful child of God. You're a beautiful child of God.
All right, we'll see you later. Go let your light shine. I would like to introduce our prayer chaplain today. Pat Flores is going to be standing. She has a stole on. Pat is here to provide you with any kind of prayer service you may feel you need. It could be something as simple as a celebration or something weighing heavy on your heart that you need to discuss in strict confidence. So please make good use of her time. She'll be here after the service in the sanctuary. And before we go further, John Working is coming forward. John is a member of our board of directors. You're right in plain sight. And John is the board liaison to the minister search team. And he's got an announcement to make.
Hi, good morning. I want to let you some exciting news that our position for senior minister is now open and online at Unity Worldwide Ministries. It's taken some time, but without your input, those of you that participated in the survey that we did and the search team meeting for a while, weekly, just filling out the forms and getting ideas on what we're looking for with your help and a new senior minister. as of last Thursday, it got put up online. And so we should see a flood of applicants coming in, I'm sure. So that's what I see. I also invite you to go to the worldwide website and just look at it, because the whole booklet is on there. You'll see the work that went into it, and some of the other stuff, some of the pictures that are in there, and the image that we showed you at the annual meeting is part of the booklet. It looks really good. And we got help from the people at Unity Worldwide as well. So I'd want to thank our interim minister, Reverend Micah, for helping us and coming back to the church and making it much easier for us with less pressure to do this. We had time to really think about what we were wanting in a new minister. So I want to thank him very much for that, and everyone else. So if you can't figure out you want to look at it, let me know. I'll send you a link, and you can click on that and look at it. But it does look really good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John, and thank you to everybody involved. I've been involved in this process once before. It is a very arduous, long, I don't want to make it sound like suffering, but it's a lot of work to go through to hire a new minister. It would be interesting to see if Reverend Micah is going to apply for the job. All right, Mei Ling is coming forward, as she does each and every month, to remind us about some important agreements that we have as a spiritual community.
Okay. Good morning. First, okay. When we say the covenant, before we start, I'd like everyone to just kind of get relaxed and calm and take a nice, pleasant breath and visualize in your mind the earth, either the earth in space when it was that iconic photo was taken of the earth from the moon, or a beautiful place on the earth, or even places where people are suffering because of the global warming. So just hold that while we affirm the Earth Care Covenant together. So I'm going to begin now. We affirm, as a part of God, the earth and everything on it is interconnected and sacred. We honor the balance of nature and take action to support a world where all beings can thrive. We declare our covenant with God to walk lightly on the earth, holding the intention of the highest good for life on our planet, now and for all generations. Thank you. Now I have a couple of things that I'd like to bring up. We're next Saturday, that's the 5th Saturday of March, we're having a hiking group right there. You saw them? Patuino Wartla Kodoi Dihi Open Space Park. It's on Rockville Road. It's for the group hike. And if you want more, it's on at 10 o'clock to noon. For people that have trouble walking or don't walk often, they have an all people's trail that's meant for people that get tired easily or they can't breathe all the time like I can, and or just have trouble walking. It's a very, I'm expected to be a very pleasant walk for everybody that comes, and I hope many of you do show up. The parking's $5, so come in a carpool. All the information is on a flyer on the bulletin board in the Great Hall. And Marcy made sure she put everything that you need to know on that flyer. So, and the other thing that I wanted to bring up is that next month is Earth Day, and it comes in the middle of the week, or actually more towards Easter, but we're going to be doing it the week after. And one of the things that we're going to have is a vegetarian potluck. So think of things that you can do, salads, pastas, whatever. But also, low sugar desserts. So fruit and all that is very welcome, but I know people like to eat other things, and you can use, there are natural sweeteners besides sugar that you can use, and there's honey. Honey's actually good for you. So just bear that in mind. I'm hoping that a lot of people show up for it. It's going to be like a special little day for all of us. And thank you.
Thank you, Mei Ling. I might just finish these announcements from the chair back here. These are nice. They put these chairs up here, and I feel... here, let me get up. Sorry about that. Good thing about this Sunday is that everyone did my announcements for me. So my work's pretty much done, except for the most important announcement. It's not an announcement, it's a pronouncement that we do together, and it's our statement of faith. So please join me. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good.
This is a song by Daniel Namad. It's one of the first songs of many of his that I've learned and shared. And I think this, I just really love this one. I hope you enjoy it. If this is my last song, if this is my final day, if tomorrow I'll be gone, what do I want to say? If this is my last song, if it's my time to go, when my body's moved on, what will I have to show? Oh, but fortune and fame, they scatter to the wind. The things that make a name just don't matter in the end. But is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and sky a little more blue? Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. If these are my last words for all of the earth to hear, if all that I have ever been is about to disappear, if these are my last words, there's nothing that I need to say. I have only tried to serve. It's never been about talking anyway. So much hurt there is to heal, it's hard to understand. All I can hope to feel is that I am doing what I can. Have I given hope to the hopeless? Has a hungry soul been fed? Has the child stood a little bit taller 'cause of something that I said? Have I left a little kindness? Have I eased a little pain? If so, then I'm glad I came. For that, I'm so glad I came. If this is my last song, what do I leave behind? What do I pass on if I am out of time?
With those beautiful thoughts in mind, let's begin to take a little time and set aside. Go back to that inner chapel where Christ and you are one. The Spirit of God is everywhere present. There cannot be a place or time anywhere at any time where God is not. So God is here in this very sanctuary, within your very heart. God and you and I are one. Breathe and relax now. Take that thought within. Breathing and gently allowing our body and mind to be fully present here. We are calm, relaxed, poised, serene. We let go of all tension, all anxieties, all stress or worries. Leave them here now with God. Turn them over to the presence of the living God, here and everywhere present. God is equal to it. God will take care. And I am one with God. So I will know now what to do, what to say, every day that I am here. In our hearts, we all wish to be helpful, just to be helpful. So we need not worry about what to do or to say, for He who sent us, this God's Spirit, will direct us, inspire us. We know what to do, and we do it well, as God's mind fills our mind with right ideas. We are one with the mind of God. So our mind is filled with life-giving, positive thoughts, and our hearts with feelings of love and joy and compassion. Thank you, God. For remembering to turn within whenever there is a concern. Go to the quiet, the peaceful chapel within, and there in the presence of our God, relax, trust, God will take care. Let's do that now in the silence. I rebuild the church within me. Each time I go within, I build again with faith, this calm and peaceful place within where God and I are equal to all in any circumstance or condition. God is our source. We need not worry. Thank you, God. Amen.
This next song, Higher, is by Denise Rozier. I hope I'm not mispronouncing her last name. She's a wonderful singer, songwriter. I see that she seems like she's up in the Denver area. But look her up on YouTube if you want a nice, refreshing musical bath of what Denise Rozier does. So here's one of her songs that I really like. Oh, the boundless heart of God that holds us in its grace. It is the purest form of love, and of it we are made, and of it we are made. Oh, the precious light of life that shines in us each day. There's healing in each golden beam, and blessings in each ray, and blessings in each ray. We are shown, we are beautiful, we are known. It's in this truth where we find our home. Higher. Oh, the joy within our souls that sings with heaven's voice. It rings throughout all creation's hall. Hear the world rejoice. Oh, hear the world rejoice. Higher, higher. It's in this truth where we find our home. Higher, higher. Oh, we are lifted up. We are shown. We are beautiful. We are known. It's in this truth where we find our home. High, 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 higher. Ooh, higher.
And now you expect me to talk after you took me higher. I was up there somewhere. David told me he was going to quit eating lunch meat because he'd been eating too much meat like that. And so he would do that for Lent. And I said, well, that's nice, you know. Okay. So about a week later, I saw him just in the kitchen gorging on this lunch meat. I said, what are you doing? You said you weren't going to eat this anymore. And he said, I just couldn't go cold turkey. It's bad, isn't it? Yeah. I'm prosperous if I open my mind to receive. But if I close my mind and I say there's just no way God can do anything, there's no way out of this, there's no way around it. If they take away my good, I'm up a creek. I'm in a cardboard box back behind Walmart. That's all there is to it. Then God, even God, infinite mind itself, can't get through a closed door. We've just denied the presence of understanding and wisdom. Charles Fillmore said he was a co-founder of Unity. What we need to realize above all else is that God has provided for the most minute needs of our daily life. That if we lack anything at all, it's not because it isn't there. It's because we've not used our mind in making the right contact with the supermind or God mind and the cosmic ray or divine substance that automatically flows from it. There's an ongoing presence of God everywhere all the time, no matter where I go. And with that in mind, I can turn at any time, anywhere within to that presence of God. And in turn, open my mind and then receive insight, direction, a stimulation of divine energy that's life itself within my being. I can receive quickening and ordering of my heart. After 40 years in active ministry and unity, I have seen people do what people have said is impossible and miraculous. So now I believe in it with the power of an open mind to the indwelling presence of God, that anything is possible with God. Can you buy that? Can your faith make that leap? That whatever it is that I need, there's enough. There's more than enough of whatever it is. It's just my openness to receive that will bring it into my life, to my affairs, to my body. I must believe in God first, unlimited, divine substance or energy. We call it substance. It's energy, a divine, if you will, prana that is there within us and within all the cosmos, the universe. And it forms according to our thinking, opening my mind to receive. Therefore, I have the substance or the energy that can be formed. And with my belief, then anything is possible. But if I don't believe it is possible, then it's unavailable to me. And it is impossible then for me to receive. Rather than complaining about the rising prices, which I've done, or the possibilities of not having all the income I thought I could depend on, instead, I've learned now that I turn as quickly as I can back within to that presence of God. And people can say, well, that's magical thinking, or it's just avoiding or denying the presence of an existing problem. But there's a difference. You know, and I know the difference between denial of something that I need to recognize and make as a change, and denial of the possibility, denial of the absolute possibility that the law of man does not limit the law of God, that God goes beyond any human fixed physical laws. There was a prophet and also a leader of the Israelites that was leading the people during a very difficult time for them. When Haggai was his name, heard that the complaints of the Israelites, he heard of them often. He could see that they were so wrapped up in their own personal problems that they were completely neglecting to put God first, to rebuild the temple as it had been destroyed physically at that time. So he said, go up to the mountain and bring wood and then build the house of God. And so, literally, they went up on the mountain and they rebuilt this little wooden chapel as a focus for their renewed faith. And things, conditions, in general, improved. So it is for us when we put God first and restore that place of God in worship and in prayer. So each day, as I set aside the time to first align myself with that indwelling presence of God, then I can face the day differently than when I'm out there by myself, just as human, facing conditions that are circumstances that are difficult. Right? Here's what we do. When we face those circumstances, we go up on the mountain and rebuild that temple. Rebuild our faith in God. Go back to the center of the presence of God within us. Begin to hold that thought. The Father and I are one, Jesus said, to the point where Jesus became literally so impregnated with that idea, he took it on as his own. He realized there was no separation between this presence of God that was infinite, absolute spirit, and moving in and through him, the very life that was his life, but they were one. And he said to the people, when you see me, you see God. And that's what he meant, that I am the life, the intelligence, the presence of God, and so are you. You are that life of God, individually and beautifully, in all the varieties of our expression, the rainbow of Godness out there expressing God. When they did put God first and restored the place of worship, and use it as a new beginning so that if I find myself being knocked off course and I start to worry or to fear, and I do, I catch myself as quickly as I can and I go back to prayer. I'm not avoiding the fact that there are conditions or situations that are absolutely difficult, threatening, or frightening. I'm not ignoring my feelings. But what I am doing is going to the answer, going back to the presence of the only source, the only power that is really in my life, and that is God. You see, God is always the source, not man, not our Social Security checks, not anything that we might fear would be changed or altered, and therefore our life would be threatened. Whether or not that occurs, who will be our source? Who is the source to begin with? Who will always be our source, provider, and the very energy, the substance that is formed is God. Bible stories are a great example for us of a truth, a positive message. And that's why we use them. In Unity, we're selective, like all churches, because they do help us. Not necessarily literally do we take them, but the meaning, the purpose becomes clearer. Silent Unity says it this way: trusting in God and prosperity means I will have what I need when I need it. I will have what I need when I need it. Doesn't mean I'll have it all in the bank beforehand. Doesn't mean I'll know how it's going to come. It doesn't mean that it's something that personally I can create. But I'm trusting, believing, absolutely have faith that it will be there for me. I cannot fathom sometimes how it will come, but in spite of that, I have faith that it will come. The way will be known. I have a prosperity consciousness that frees me. It literally frees me from worry and fear for that time. When I go back into my prayer life, into that temple, whenever I feel I'm starting to fade, that is, I'm losing my awareness, my mind is forgetting that God is my source. No man can stop that. No power can limit this presence of God that is always there for me. There was a time when in Florida, I had a small church I was serving. And I think I told you there were about 8 or 10 people the first Sundays, and I was quite concerned that we wouldn't have the income to continue to support me. And I had just arrived as a new student minister. So we prayed a lot, went back to the temple, and the numbers continued to grow, and people came, not in great droves, 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3, and before long, we were full. And there was only one toilet in the whole building that we had in downtown Fort Myers, a little wooden frame that used to be a Methodist church, and all the seats were straight in the back, no bending. You had to sit up straight, and there were no pads. You weren't supposed to have them. But we quickly went in as good Unity students and put in pads. We couldn't change the back, but we put lots of pillows in there. So we were enjoying the little building, and we loved it. Cleaned all the building up, put in new carpet. We didn't want to leave that building. But one day the chairman of the board came to me and said, "We have to sell this place and move." And I said, "Why?" He was just so upset. We had 2 services by then, and he said, "We can't continue to serve in this place." And I said, "Why?" He said, "The toilets are backing up. The plumbing can't handle it." And I talked to the city, and they say it's not their problem, it's ours. And these pipes, everything is so old, we're going to have to rip it all out and do it over, and it's just too much. This building cannot accommodate the number we have in it. Nice problem to have, huh? But that set us under the problem of finding a building that we could afford. I'd only been there about 4 years by then. The banks weren't willing to give loans because a minister's supposed to be in place for a period of time to show that that's a secure ministry before, at least at that time, the banks would give loans to churches. It's difficult for banks because they don't want to have their name on the front page, so-and-so sues the church for money. So they have to be careful who they loan to. And so we were really concerned. But one day a board member came to me and said, meet me at this address. And so I drove out a little bit outside of town, and there was this beautiful 10-acre site with a 2-acre lake in the middle. And I had been affirming I wanted a church on the water. And they all said, you can't have a church on the water. You couldn't afford it. They're, even at that time, extremely expensive. There was the water. I didn't say it had to be the ocean. 2-acre lake that was big and beautiful. And the people that were there loved it. They raised their kids on that property. The man who built it and developed it was a contractor, so he had all this wonderful equipment that he used and made the place beautiful. The building was beautiful, and it was the home was at the back, and it was big enough, and I could see quickly that if 2 interior walls that were not load supporting were removed, we would have a sanctuary that was big enough. And it was big, big home. And so they told us the price. And after taking a deep breath, we realized we had to get the money from the sale and even put the money down. And we certainly didn't have enough to buy it. So we all went home, the board and I, and a few members of the church that were on the search committee looking for something. And we prayed. We got a call. The local Catholic church had a Haitian community that didn't speak English well enough to join their service. So they started a Haitian Catholic service, but they needed a building. And so they used our little building, and they said they wanted it, and they wanted to use it. And we sold it. Like within a week, we sold it after we put it on the market. Now we really had to move. So we went back to that site, and the owners, we told them we really want the property, but we are having challenges getting the mortgage. And they went away, and a day later called and said, we've decided we really want our home to be a church. It'd be perfect. So we will give you the loan. We'll hold the loan. And they said, how much can you put down? We told them what we had. And we saved a little bit for the move. And they said, fine, that's just great. Drew up the contracts. And so we had 5 years in order to grow the church up to be able to afford to get the new mortgage. So we started the process, but at one point, a massive amount of work. All the church members worked on it. We were so hot and so tired some days in Florida, we'd jump in the lake at the end just to cool off. And so it was a beautiful experience. And then the city stepped in, looked at everything we'd done and said, now you got to have a parking space paved for every 2 people in the church. So we didn't have paved parking. We just had grass. Doesn't work. Got to have paved parking, they said. So we knew we couldn't go back to the community for more money. The bank wouldn't give us a loan. And all of a sudden, we had no building of our own. We were meeting in a hotel, which was not good because the members were starting to say, I like the hotel better. Let's just stay here. We get to go right into breakfast. We don't need a church. And I really wanted to see them have a home of their own. And so with prayer, one day I was sitting in my office looking out at the lake, feeling despondent. And I did just what we're talking about. I could see no way at all. I couldn't fathom a way that we could come out of this okay. And a man walked in the door, was a member of the church, but not often there. He worked also, was a nurse and worked on Sundays. And he said, how much would it cost to put in the parking lot? Because I had told the congregation, this is where we're at. We'll just have to pray, and everybody pray for a way. And he said, how much would it cost? I told him $60,000, which was $1 million at that point. And he said, okay, I just received an inheritance. I'll give you the $60,000. So we can't really repay that immediately because we've got to, and I'm going on and on. He said, I didn't talk about repaying it. I'd be happy to have the money back one day if it ever fits into the church's plans, and they can do that. He walked out. I still brings me to tears. There was no way in the world that that could happen. We were about to close the doors and say that's the end of this group because people were getting frustrated in the hotel and like, more money, more money. And we paid for the parking. They came in. We quickly dug up everything we had to dig up and leveled up everything we could. There was one woman hanging on the front of a earth mover that her husband brought in from his farm. We were working at night with flashlights so we could get it done quickly. We got the parking lot in. Open house came in. We all did as I was about to do a moment ago. Cried because we saw that there was an impossible situation that God did not see as impossible. Are you with me? What we see is limited. We only see one patch on a quilt that is very, very big. Our life experience. God is the power. God is the presence. And God will be the way that we will come through any circumstance or condition that arises. That's true prosperity. To know that, to believe that, and we don't have to worry about what we have. It's wonderful to have resources, but we also know that if all that were gone, is our source gone? No. The source will always provide. I'm grateful that God is the source of every good thing in my life. I was fearful when I heard of that possibility of the government changing our Social Security benefits at one point. And so I went up in the mountain, and I rebuilt my church, and I prayed again, and I said, wait a minute. Who is my source? Who can limit my good? Only, help me here, only I can limit it. My limited faith will limit my receiving of the good that is God. So I turned my attention back to God and the truth that no one nor anything can stop the flow of my good, what I need, except, help me, moi, except me. Never doubt. God will always be the source and the way, or can anyone ever take away your source? Ever, no matter what. Remember, in Silent Unity, we say, trusting in prosperity means I will have what I need when I need it, even if I cannot fathom how. I don't need to worry or fear. Synchronicities begin to occur. The whole universe conspires to bring about an answered prayer. Ways and means and people that you've never heard of show up that will bring forth the answer. You can trust God. You can't trust the circumstances of the world. So we're grateful that God is the source of every good thing in our life. And to assure our supply, what we do is reinforce our faith in God by sharing of our time, our talents, and our treasures. As we're assured that we will have enough, that we always will have a source of good, we can give freely and we can serve freely. We can take the energy and the time that we have and give some of that. Am I my sister's caretaker? Today that's questioned, isn't it? Take care of yourself and not everyone else. We would say, as Jesus did, yes, I am my brother and my sister's caretaker. I do care. Let's affirm together. I open my mind to receive. Together? I open my mind to receive. I'm the rich child of a rich Father, Mother, God. I am the rich child of a rich Father, Mother, God. It's always there. Psalm 36:8 says, "They feast on the abundance of your house, and you give them drink from the river of your delights." Amen. I see that for you. God bless you. Rich children of God.
Thank you, Reverend Micah. Our ushers are coming down. I want to point something out. We have 2 ushers coming down. So the style in which we give has changed over the years, but the act of giving has not. At one time, we had 4 ushers that would have to come down because we'd have 4 baskets filled with paper things as we did our collection. But now we have many different ways to give. You can give by texting. You can go to our website, push on the donate button. Some people set up automatic withdrawals for their credit cards or bank accounts. So again, there's many different ways in which you can give, but the act of giving still comes from that part of your heart that's anchored in love. So with that, let's give this blessing to our tithes and offerings. Together, God's love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. I am grateful. Thank you.
I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my power over the mountains. I send my power over the sea. I send my power into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my peace over the mountains. I send my peace over the sea. I send my peace into the heavens, and it returns to me.
Thank you. That was beautiful. And thank you. I realize today we're 7 minutes over our normal time of ending, but there's something special that I'd like to share with you right now, and that's the new member installation. We have 3 people who are joining the church today, formally, and I think it's wonderful. And if we have anybody that would like to join the church, don't forget, all you have to do is fill out one of those little membership cards that are out there on the in the hallway, and then you can turn it in to any usher or to myself, any board member, and you'll be the next ones up here. So I'd like to call Joe Oliveri, Dave McCollum, and Julie Nichols. Will you come forward, please? You can just stand anywhere you'd like here. I told him we'd have the white robes for them and we'd do the dunking of the water later, so we don't have to do that now. Where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I also in their midst. That's what Jesus said. For unity membership, there are no requirements other than a desire to know God and to unfold spiritually. We offer no prescribed doctrine other than to seek the truth and to follow the only commandment that Jesus gave. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and mind and with all thy strength. And thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. We invite you so that you can become a part of our family. We unite so that we have a place to work together, a community in which to commit so that we may help one another in prayers and thoughts and spiritual powers, for this is the manner in which we strive to become a bigger force, a better force for good. In our unity of purpose and our love of God, as dedicated students of truth, we believe that the revealment of truth direct from Spirit through each of us is our goal. It is the rock on which the one and only Church of Christ is built. We believe the church is not a place, it's always a people. You are the church, never a sacred building, but always a believing assembly. The church is you who pray, not where you pray. All things are sacred in this world, but only true sanctuary and God is within you. So you're always one with it. Unity means oneness, and Christ's consciousness is the head of the assembly, and the only true organization is spirit. God is spirit, and they that worship him must worship in spirit and in truth. So, Jesus told us that friends in Christ, as minister of this church, we can join together, and it is my privilege on behalf of this membership to receive you into full and active membership now. Extending to you the right hand of blessing. God bless you. So glad to have you with us. God bless you. Welcome, Julie and Dave and Joe. And I think Paul's going to lead us in a little experience where we can all take part in it.
So it's tradition here at Unity that when we have a new membership indoctrination, recognition. That at the end, instead of doing the peace song, we make a row of people on either side of this aisle. And we're going to form like a little steeple, if you will, with our hands. And we call this the angel wash. And George is going to lead us in the greatest thing. So it's the greatest thing in all my life is knowing you, loving you, serving you. And our new members are going to come down and walk through this cathedral of human hands as we sing to them. And then as they pass, the front rows will follow one by one so that you can also receive this blessing. So if you join me now and stand and make a row in each side of this aisle in the sanctuary.
The greatest thing in all my life is knowing you. The greatest thing in all my life is knowing you. I want to know thing in all my life is knowing you. The greatest thing in all my life is loving you. The greatest thing in all my life is knowing want to love you more. I want to love you more. The greatest thing in all my life is loving you. The greatest thing in all my life is serving you. The greatest thing in all my life is serving you. I want to serve you more. I want to serve